MLB umpires have once again found a new way to ruin baseball games. I've already made a video on both home plate umpires sucking, as well as umpires being way too excited to eject players and coaches, and now we are going to be talking about the absolute failure that is the MLB replay system. This is a pretty simple system that MLB and umpires just cannot seem to get right, even though this truly is one of the more simple concepts in baseball. For example, does this ball hit the batter or not? The call on the field was no, but after being able to see the replay, you can see that the batter very clearly got clipped by the pitch, which the umpires in New York were able to fix after seeing the replay as well. All is good and the runner gets to go to first base. These challenges can be initiated by a manager after feeling as if a play was close enough to take a chance on. You only have one challenge in the regular season per game, and if you lose the challenge, you lose it for the rest of the game. If you get it right, you get another one. So using your challenge early in a game can be a very big risk. And all of this is good, right? This helps to prevent things like the Galarraga perfect game snub from happening again. And to be fair to Jim Joyce and every other umpire on the planet, it's almost impossible to make these calls on the spot, and this applies for home plate umpires as well. In theory, yes, this system is an awesome compromise to make umpires still extremely important, but also making their job a little more fair and can allow a mistake they make to not completely ruin an inning for a team and potentially even ruin the outcome of a game. However, I did say this is a great concept in theory, and that's because currently there have been some major flaws in execution, especially with what's been happening during the MLB postseason. Let's look at this Trey Turner pickoff for example. Immediately, he's called safe by the umpire, which is perfectly fine. The umpire is behind the player, so his view is blocked, and the play is so extremely close that it's almost impossible to tell in live time. However, after careful slow motion replay, you can tell that Trey Turner is almost definitely out as the first baseman applies the tag to his hip before the hand is back on the base. So the umpire calls him safe? Well, how could this possibly be? We literally just saw Trey Turner was out, but the umpires in New York with hundreds of camera angles couldn't tell themselves why. Well, let's see the official rules on what makes a call overturnable. Number 1, if the umpire finds clear and convincing video evidence that the original call was incorrect, the call will be overturned. Number 2, if the umpire finds no clear evidence to overturn a call, the call stands. Number 3, if there is clear proof that the call on the field was correct, the play will be confirmed. Now, there is one word that is continued among all three of these lines, and that word is clear, making this the most important word of the bunch. If there is no clear evidence either way, a call cannot be confirmed or overturned, which means that the original call must stand. And this is even if they cannot say that this is the right call or the wrong call, it's just what was called, so that's what they're keeping it. So in Trey Turner's case, the call was not overturned or confirmed because they simply were not 100% sure, meaning that the call must remain what it was on the field. With that being said, if the umpire had called Trey Turner out, then he would have remained out. This creates a serious potential issue that feels like it's only getting worse each year. What is clear and concise evidence? Personally, I would say that this freeze frame right here is about as clear as you're going to ever get. The glove is touching Trey Turner's body while Trey Turner's hand is not touching the base. This means he should be out, but once again, he remains safe. If the rule is to fix the umpire's mistakes in the first place, why do we value the calls so highly that it has to be blatantly obvious for them to be wrong for it to be overturned? If we are making this rule so that umpires do not have as much power in getting a call wrong, shouldn't the original call not matter at all? And since Trey Turner was almost definitely out at least, and at best very clearly out, shouldn't we just assume he was out instead of valuing the exact call that is in question anyway? This is a serious flaw in the system that the rules seem to just overlook. The call is thought to be wrong by at least one of the two managers, but the league basically uses the innocent until proven guilty strategy with replay, which makes calls like this Trey Turner call remain correct for basically no reason, when everyone watching can tell that he's probably out. Either way, enough about this Trey Turner call. Let's look at some other horrible calls because that's what you're here for, and don't worry, I've got plenty more, including 2 more from the same day as this Trey Turner one. Oh yeah, and once again, this is a playoff game, so these other 2 are as well. For this play in the Dodgers-Padres game, Freddie Freeman steals second base, but it definitely seems like he overslides second base and isn't touching the base while Cronenworth is still applying the tag. This one is very close. This is one of the ones where I can understand not overturning because, again, it is extremely close. I do think there is a second where Freddie Freeman's leg is not touching the base, and I think the way that Freddie Freeman reacts makes this even more likely as he very quickly tries to reach over with his hand to stop from sliding off the base, and Cronenworth is definitely tagging him before that hand is back on the base. So personally, I think Freddie Freeman was most likely off the base here. Again, this one's very, very difficult to overturn in my opinion. However, it's the same day as the Trey Turner one and this next one, so you kind of have to throw it in there just to say all 3 of them, they're kind of linked together. Personally, I think this safe call on this Jazz Chisholm Jr. stolen base attempt is the worst one of the 3 because there were just multiple angles that you see on the broadcast that show there's almost a 0% chance that he's actually safe. His foot, mainly his heel, is not touching the base. He's off to the right side, the tag is applied on the top of his foot, and his heel is not touching the corner of the base. I do not care what you say, he's not touching the base in this shot or this shot. He slid to the right of the bag and he wasn't touching it, and he was tagged, so he should be out. And even if there's a 1% chance that he's safe, that's clear enough for me, he's out. With that being said, let's just move on to some of the other bad ones and get a little bit less in depth in them, but just show you what I'm talking about. Actually, I'm changing my mind really quick. Let's talk about this Jose Altuve one first, really quick, because this highlights another example that's another major issue with the replay system. And that's not every play can be reviewed for some reason, especially some really obvious ones. Jose Altuve undeniably fouls a ball off of his foot. The umpire says he does not, the play is ran, Altuve is out. This is the 9th inning with a runner in scoring position in a tie game late in September. This is a huge spot and Altuve just got robbed. He hit his foot with this baseball. It is undeniable. But this play was not reviewable. For some reason, you cannot review whether a ball hit a body part or not. So because of that, Altuve wasn't able to challenge. He was called out. He took off his sock. He got ejected because he was literally showing that his toe was bruised. The umpires couldn't do anything about it. He's out. They move into the next inning. Now, the next inning wasn't any better because Jerickson Profar very clearly did not get hit by a baseball. However, the home plate umpire said that he got hit by a baseball, and then after going to replay, they confirmed that he was hit by a baseball. Well, they didn't confirm it because it didn't happen, but they somehow didn't have clear evidence that he didn't get hit by a baseball, so the call stood. Except in the most basic MLB camera angle, I have clear and concise evidence that he was not hit by a pitch because my eyes were open, and because of that, that means I was able to see. And because I was able to see, I know that Jerickson Profar was not hit by a pitch. However, the umpires in New York did not come to that same conclusion. Pretty mysterious if you ask me. So this one between the Rangers and the White Sox happened last season, but I have to talk about it because it's just so damn stupid that it has to be mentioned in this video. The go-ahead run in the 8th inning is called out on a throw from left field. He's very clearly out. Even on replay, you can tell he's out. However, he's called safe. And why is that? Because you're able to review whether or not the catcher was blocking the plate. Now here, the catcher was not blocking the plate. I'm sorry, I don't care what the rule says, the catcher was not blocking the plate. He was standing on the back part of the plate, but the front part of the plate was wide open for a hand to swoop in and touch. He did not touch it because he was out. The fact that they overturned this and confirmed that he was blocking the plate is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Horrible call. Needs to be mentioned here. I hate this one. This is another one from 2023. I can't stand this one. It makes me so mad. William Contreras is running out a ground ball and the pitcher is covering first base. William Contreras touches the base before the pitcher. I do not care if you cannot fully see the pitcher's heel. You can look on 2 angles at the same time and you can tell that the pitcher is not touching the base. This one actually makes me so angry. It's so conclusive to me and to everyone watching. I know it's conclusive to you. He is not out. He is safe. The runner touched the base before the pitcher, therefore he is safe. I hate this one so much. Okay, now I'm just gonna start getting mad because I'm getting to the ones that I cannot even fathom. This is the most transfer I have ever seen on a baseball field. If you don't know the transfer rule, basically if you have like possession of the ball and you're transferring it into your throwing hand and it falls on the ground, it still counts as a catch. Here, the umpire said that this was not a transfer, which is fine. I get it. It's fast. But then after replay, they still said it's not a transfer. The ball, if you look where it is in that glove, could not be more inside of that pocket. That ball is so deep in that pocket, I'm surprised the ball even came out, honestly. It fell out of his hand. You can see his hand is under the glove, which is opening, and it falls out. This is the most obvious transfer rule of all time. There's literally not even an excuse. I don't even know what you can say. They review it, and he's still safe. I can't comprehend it. This one's another close one. This one's not the most egregious, but you can literally see when Freddie Freeman's glove like flexes that it's touching the runner's leg. He's still called safe. The glove flexes while the hand is still very clearly above the base, meaning that the glove tagged the runner before the runner tagged the base. He should be out. They called him safe. This one's not the end of the world, I don't think. The next one, however, is from the same game, and this one is the end of the world. The runner is rounding third base. The catcher has the ball, throws it to the pitcher. The runner slides in. The pitcher does not tag him. He's called out on the field. Whatever, he's called out on the field. We'll go to replay. We'll overturn the... What do you mean what do you mean call stands? He did not touch him. You can see from above, he didn't touch him. You can see from the side, he didn't touch him. The only time he touches him is on the shoulder. And if you overlay this one with this one, you can tell that by the time the shoulder was touched, he was very clearly touching home plate. If he doesn't touch the arm, which he doesn't, because you can tell from this camera angle right here, he cannot be out. However, they called him out, and I don't know why. They kept him out. It's not even close. It's really not. He didn't touch him. Speaking of not touching him, we have another one with Trey Turner. And this is going to be the last one because, as I'm sure we all love watching these horrible calls in the sport that we all love, this one is just too far. The second baseman of the Brewers tags Trey Turner, except he very clearly doesn't tag Trey Turner. Like, very, very clearly. He's called out. He remains out. Where is the tag? This is the most obvious swing and miss of all time. Paul Skeens is basically pitching right now with how many swings and misses are happening. He does not tag Trey Turner. There is no way he tags Trey Turner. Why is Trey Turner and Freddie Freeman involved in like 3/4 of these? I don't know. But these ghost tags are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. There is no touching of Trey Turner. Either way, with that being said, if you want to hear me complain about the umpires more, I have this video and this video that you can watch on screen right now because I've complained about umpires a lot. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.